Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Story Club. Joining me today, this is going to be a really long title. Model, DJ, multi-directional, creative. Have I missed anything?
Just a guy, bro.
Just a guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Kilimanjaro. Josh, we've been planning this for about 2 years now.
Time, bro. It's been a minute, you know.
I'm glad we're finally getting round to it. Me and Josh were introduced by Barrington Reeves, who runs the creative agency Two Gallus, because Josh was doing us a favour when we couldn't really get any models. Being a good-looking lad himself, he came along and joined us for a shoot.
It was a nice break from the norm at the time. I don't really think I was doing much actually. That was like what, June?
June, just like basically straight out of lockdown.
It was nice wee beach day. That
a day trip to the beach, and
it was lovely.
Slater's target market for casual was slightly older, so. All credit to Josh. He made dad clothes look pretty smooth.
You know what? I started shopping dad clothes after that.
I was like, you know, just what? That straight leg, baggy fit.
Straight.
So just hopping into the usual, but then Josh, for those who don't know who you are, could you please give a quick introduction?
So yeah, I am Josh Kilimanjaro, just a guy just trying to do bits, really. Like, I think as it's been for everyone, like the past couple of years, it's been pretty nuts, like going from like doing your normal stuff to not doing anything, to then as a creative having to find my feet again completely, to now kind of being back doing what I love again, and I'm just very thankful for that. So yeah, like I'm a creative at heart and focusing on music right now. I'm blessed to be back focusing on that, being in the studio loads, and DJing and producing under Kilimanjaro. Obviously, like, my creative background kind of came from studying and at the art school up in Dundee. Did product design up there, which was good fun. I got a lot of good friends that I'm still very close with from that, but didn't really take that on specifically.
Why do you think that is?
I think, like, I've always wanted to do music, man. Like, I've been playing drums since I was 12, and been like working in music, being in I'd say in bands. I've been in a band. I was really only in one band. It was me, my bro, and one of our good family friends, Sam, and a couple other guys kind of in and out, but we were our future glory for the best part of a decade. And yeah, we did bits.
The band was running for 10 years.
Yeah, like from you know, doing bits in a garage to like what we did the last 3 years. We did Tea in the Park. We were signed to a label in London, and then like our final kind of gig was in Ibiza at the International Music Summit, which was jokes.
So this wasn't like side fun. Was this the full time focusing on making this break?
Yeah, that was the main bag for like the last kind of section. And I think we got to a point where we were like, yeah, like we've done a lot with it. Like, obviously you never want to shut the door on it, so whenever we meet up, we're like, like checking ideas back and forth. And yeah, like honestly, whenever we meet up, we're always like what kind of playing about on ideas and music and stuff, which is jokes.
Well, so let's hover on this for a wee bit, because this was 10 years of your life. How did you guys come together? What was there any other distractions, and just the whole experience doing festivals, building up a fan base?
Yeah, I mean, like, if I'm honest, bro, it's just it purely just came from a love of music, and we all kind of had, obviously it was me and my brother were kind of together playing music from like a young age, but then we kind of found a group of boys that were into similar music, into the similar bands, going to similar shows.
What kind of music was it?
So like our biggest influence, I'm sure the boys won't be annoyed at me for saying, but was Block Party. Like, Block Party were massive influence for us. Like, Matt Tong was my favorite drummer, and I remember actually being at school. I remember being at high school, and my English teacher was like really into like Rush and stuff. He was like, "Who's your favorite drummer?" I was like, "Matt Tong from Block Party." He was like, "What?" Like, he just couldn't get it. But just like their energy. Obviously, lead singer Kelly Okereke was as a black man, and it was just really inspiring to see a black person making music that just wasn't hip hop. And don't get me wrong, our big influences did come from hip hop as well. But it was just cool to see that, and like especially the stuff that they were talking about. That second album, A Weekend in the City, was like a massive influence for us, where they were kind of just making that switch over from being like just a band to kind of, they were working with a producer called Jackknife Lee, who's did a lot of stuff with the Editors as well, and kind of they were just bridging into doing electronic stuff, and that was the pocket that we were kind of in, and that was where we ended up kind of focusing the last few years of our career.
Well, so how was it? Because you hear stories of bands when they work together, it's quite close contact, you're having to be creative together, creative personalities clashing.
I mean, I think it definitely worked in our favor that we were all very similar and came from very similar backgrounds. Obviously, one of the other guys was my brother, so
no sibling rivalry or anything.
Nah, like, do you know what, man? Like, my big brother's like genuinely one of my heroes, like for sure, like straight up. Like, I'm like just super proud of like what he's achieved, and he's just a massive inspiration to me personally. But
what's he doing now?
So he's just actually big up. He's just left the job he's been doing for maybe 7-8 years. I mean, by the time this comes out, I'm sure it'll be fine. But they asked him to, he said he was going to leave, and they were like, do you want to go on a sabbatical? So he said, okay, but he's definitely not going back. So he's actually just gone back. So I'm Zambian. He's actually just gone back to Zambia to see family. So he's been there for a month now. I think he's got another month left. He's just going and just taking time to see family. And I'm like, even just stuff like that, I'm just like, that's so class. Like, he's like binned off his job to go and do that, and like super proud of his wife Jenny. She's been doing her own business for the past, I want to say 4 or 5 years, and she's just moved into her own like big office space. JL Calligraphy, hold tight. We'll put the socials underneath or whatever. But
nice.
Yeah, she's doing really well. So he's kind of, they're in a space now where they're like able to kind of look forward and kind of project, okay, I can take 2 months off and I'll come back and we'll work together on the business. And yeah, man, it's cool, it's exciting. But yeah, going back to the music stuff, it was like, because we were all so close, like the disagreements you have are purely based within the music stuff. So it never really spilled outside of that, which was good. And like, I'd say I've got a handful of best mates, and the guys I did music with are still my best mates. So
that's great. So did you guys build up quite a following?
I mean, we'd like to think that we did. Like, we were like before the whole time of like Instagram and stuff, but like
I should have said fan base. I didn't want to make it just about the social sides.
But you know, we did bits. Like, I think like, I feel like we just got a wee bit tired. Like, we'd been doing it for so long, and then as stuff was kind of happening in the music side of life, like life was happening outside of it, and we were just like, let's just take a bit of time. And then a bit of time turned into a bit more time. And
so what was the Josh life stuff?
So I was, do you know what, man? I've done a lot. I've done a lot of different jobs. So I finished studying, and then I worked in hospitality for a bit. I was working in bars, and then kind of branched into like marketing. So I was doing like hospitality marketing, and then moved into retail marketing, which I was doing.
Was this in Dundee or Glasgow?
Yeah, this was in Dundee. This was in Dundee. I was working for like a small independent brand, kind of similar to End, but obviously not anywhere near that scale, which was cool. Worked with some amazing guys who I'm still really good friends with. Shout out CarterCon. I'm not actually wearing their stuff today. I normally would be, but apologies. But yeah, so did that for a while, and then when I was doing that, that's when I started getting into modeling. And yeah, basically throughout that whole time, we were just doing music stuff. So it was like, I'd be doing that Monday, Friday, 9-5 or whatever the hours were. And then like straight to studio or straight to rehearsal space or straight to a show. And I loved it. I still really miss playing the drums. I think I'm going to get back to it this year, hopefully.
Well, so I was going to ask, how did you keep it up? But it was the passion for it.
Yeah, I mean, like, when you find something that you actually truly love, like it doesn't feel like work. And then it's like the work that you are doing, you know that you're doing it so that you're able to focus on the music stuff, you know?
Well, that can sometimes go the other way. I've had a few friends who they knew their whole life they wanted to do something. One of the kind of the downsides of turning your passion into your job is it can kind of start to feel like a job.
Yeah. It's like, it's definitely, you need to make sure that you're finding a balance and that you are also finding enjoyment and space outside of whatever you're doing. I think that's pretty big as well. Kind of, there's definitely skills to be balanced, and you need to make sure that you're obviously looking after your mental side of stuff, and make sure you're spending time like seeing your family and seeing your loved ones, and, you know, blowing off steam outside of work, because then that's what that saves you when maybe you're having a creative debate or you're not quite seeing eye to eye. Because you're blowing off steam in somewhere else, you don't bring that heat into those discussions. You get what I mean? So
did you ever not have a balance? Was there ever where you spent too much in the work and the jobs and stuff,
of
so
course,
you didn't
bro.
blow off the
Of
steam?
course, even now, man, that is what being a creative is. Like, it's a constant battle between like, right, okay, especially like before you blow it, you know, it's like you want to just be doing what you love. You don't want to be doing the other jobs, but you have to. So then it's like, how much money do I need to make to be able to live comfortably and enjoy whilst also having enough time to do me and also focus on the thing I love, which is music. And it's like this it's honestly that until someone's paying you to do it full time, that's just a constant battle. And I'm sure if anyone's listening to this that's in that space, they'll 100% agree. It's like it never ends until, I guess, you make it to the other side. And then, I mean, I'm sure if and when I make it to the other side, there'll still be other battles. But yeah, it's a blessing, man. I'm blessed to be able to do it. I'm blessed to have the opportunity to do that stuff. So it's good, man. I can't complain.
Nice. Yeah. I can hear it in your voice. So let's say we've come to the end of the 10 years. You guys decided to just do different things. The band came to an end. Where were you at then? Mentally, professionally? So
it was actually a really cool space for me, because we'd basically been invited out to Ibiza to play this showcase, the Hard Rock in Playa, and alongside the show we've been asked to do, they were basically like, you guys can DJ, right? And at the time I was running the Dundee branch of a night called Hector's House in Edinburgh Night. So I was like in and around that scene. I'd been going to like clubs like the Reading Rooms and stuff since I was like 15, 16. So I was very, very well versed in electronic and house music. And I'd been like sniffing around doing it for a very long time, but I'd never pulled the trigger on it. I'd never actually like got on the decks to learn.
Was a passion there for it, or more because it's kind of what was taking off?
Yeah, I mean, like the passion's always been there. Like I'm sure my mates, who a lot of them that I learned from, I'd always be kind of behind there and kind of like in and amongst it and winding them up on their shoulders and that. But like the passion's always been there. It'd always been there, and yeah, we just took the opportunity, and I spent a couple months learning. And our first, like, it was just a poolside wee gig. It was like maybe 45 minutes, so nothing to write home about, but it was enough to kind of be like, right, okay, like let's see what we can do with this. And then yeah,
so you flew back from Ibiza after this gig and you were like, I think I'm going to try DJing.
Do you know what, bro? I was just like, why not, man? Like and at that point, like we didn't say it when we were out there, but we all knew we were like, we're going to need to take a little break. Like we were all kind of coming to places in our lives where we were like needing a bit of time off just to focus on non-band stuff. Like my big bro was buying a house, like Sam was focusing on life stuff. I was trying to get out of Dundee.
What year was this?
2016.
Okay.
2016. Jeez, time.
Yeah.
Jokes. Almost 7 years. 7 years.
The last 2 years don't count. Remember though.
Fact. I love that. I'm holding that. Kind of came back, and I was like, I was still running the night up in Dundee. I was learning how to produce and mix and master and create video content.
Were you self-teaching?
So I was in a studio. I was working in a studio called, working in a studio called Ex Machina in Edinburgh. Shout out my mentor, Ian Campbell, legend. He's now one of the heads of music at Rockstar Games. Just sick. He's doing absolute bits, man. He's doing so well. Super proud. But yeah, I was learning lots from him at the time. So I was like, okay, let me make this jump to Edinburgh.
So this was you finally getting out of Dundee?
Yeah, this was me finally getting out of Dundee. And then I was kind of tying that in with trying to do more DJ gigs. And obviously you kind of start out just kind of playing bars here and there, which was really cool.
Well, new city, new adventures. Were you getting distracted? Was the excitement of a new city building up, or were you able to keep your eye on the ball?
I mean, life is a distraction, bro. Life is a distraction. I mean, I was just really like, I'd been in Dundee for a long time. Like I was born in London. And moved up to Dundee when I was like maybe 5, and then obviously done like all my primary, secondary, tertiary education there, and then stayed there for a bit, and then stayed there for a bit, and then stayed there for a bit, and then it got to the point where I was like, I have to leave this place because I love Dundee. I'll always love Dundee. But it was getting to the point where I was just like getting sick of it, and I was just like, I need to get out of here before I like start building resentment. So yeah, Edinburgh was like the next logical choice. Obviously, I was working at that studio.
So I had the guy filming a podcast in Glasgow.
I know, man. I know. Big love for Glasgow.
Yeah, there you go.
Just for the record, yeah. Glasgow.
I'm just
the best city in Scotland.
I'm just trying to get you points all across Scotland.
Come on, bro. Come on.
You've already covered Dundee and Edinburgh.
Oh, this is good.
Josh is enjoying a cold tea.
No, the cold tea's done.
Oh, the cold tea's done.
Hammered it. Shout out.
Shout out, cold tea.
What a shout. I'm on the green
Paul at the Green Room, the place where I've been regularly recording, supplies all the drinks.
Yeah, shout out the Green Room, by the way. Lovely setup. It's actually, I've watched a few different podcasts in this space, so it's nice to finally be warm on the couch.
Yeah, look at you. That's nice, actually.
You know it is.
Sorry, so you made it to Edinburgh, the next logical step.
Yeah. So Edinburgh, like, still got a lot of love for Edinburgh, but more the people than the place. I think, like, Edinburgh's a strange one, man. Like, I was there, I'd been working there for maybe 6-7 months before I moved. And then
commuting from Dundee then?
Yeah, commuting. Right, okay. Yeah, commuting, man. It was tough, but I mean, now that I'm commuting from London to Scotland every other week, it seems like a piss take, a doddle. But
you had your purpose in mind. So.
Yeah, I'm never afraid to work hard or to be tired, to strive to do things that I love. So like, some of the trips I make or have made have not made sense logically, financially, time-wise, but it's all been an investment to get to where I am, and it's all an investment to push to where I want to be.
Do you have to do anything to keep the passion alive, or it's just not that you're lucky that it's always there, but that flame is just always burning?
Bro, do you know what? I can't lie. Pre-lockdown, not that the passion wasn't there, but like looking back and like thinking about how I feel now internally compared to how I was feeling before, it's honestly like night and day. Like I was kind of like in a space where like, okay, I was like comfortable, like financially. I was playing like maybe like 3-4 bar gigs a week, which is like more than enough especially if you're in Glasgow, to live on. And I was playing music, but like it wasn't, do you know what I mean? It wasn't the music I was wanting to be playing. It was more just like a means to an end. And it was very much described as, I'm going to work, I'm going job, I'm whatever. It wasn't like, I'm going to do what I love. Wasn't really spending any time in the studio. I think in that first like 4-year stint, I think I only like made one tune. And I was just like, looking back on it now, I was like, I didn't have the hunger for it. I was like, I'm getting on not bad. Like I'm kind of creeping my way up like the ladder, as so to speak. But I wasn't really doing anything hard hitting. Like I wasn't in the studio, I wasn't grafting, I wasn't creating.
Because you were too comfortable, or
just comfortable, man. I was like, I was comfortable. I was like, you know what? I'll get there eventually. Like there was honestly, it's actually mental to think like it was just like, obviously the last couple of years has been horrible for everyone. Some people have done really well through it. Some people have done really well out the back of it. And I feel personally that like mentally I'm in a much stronger place than I was before. I think I'm much more driven than I was before. I know what I want. I know how I think I'm going to get it. And I'm hungrier, bro. I'm hungry, man. See, when you've not eaten for time and you're just hungry, bro. I'm hungry, man. I'm the hungriest guy. I'm hungry, bro.
That's definitely going to be a soundbite. But that's funny. Me and Paul were talking about that earlier, that comfort's a killer. It's so easy. You're like, I'm hungry, I'm going to follow my passion. But then you get your baseline of money and you're like, this could keep me going. And you need some edge, people around you who push you, or that self-drive to really go above and beyond. Get out your comfort zone and go and go and go.
Yeah, I think being in Dundee for so long and like getting to that place where I was just like, I was tired of it. I was resenting it. Not quite resenting myself, but I was resenting the space that I was getting into. I was resenting the person I was becoming. I was just like, as I said to myself, I made a promise to myself, I never want to like rest on my laurels ever again. So I was like, right, cool, go Edinburgh. Did what I could do in Edinburgh. Made a lot of amazing connections. Got a handful of really good friends that I'll probably be friends with for the rest of my life. Met some very interesting characters. Played in some really cool spots. Had some really fun nights out. And then it was just like, right, cool. I'm done with this. It's time to move. And then I moved to Glasgow. Maybe I think I'd only been there maybe 9 months, 10 months, something like that. I was like, right, cool. Next, on to the next, and moved to Glasgow. And then was here for a couple of years before lockdown.
So we'll get to the whole joys and fun parts of lockdown, I'm sure. Those years in Glasgow, you were doing the DJ stuff, but also the modelling kind of sudden, and also you have provided creative direction for different bits and pieces. Let's talk about that.
I mean, I was given an amazing opportunity to work with a beautiful young man, Michael Sim, shout out. He has had a creative agency called Ep.29, who've now become Home X. They do all of Nico's stuff, so 6 by Nico, Chateau X, the list goes on. I'm sure you guys don't need me to tell you, but got a chance to come on board with them, and at that time they were working with a few different really cool brands around Scotland, and they just were looking for someone to bring some kind of creative direction. And yeah, just brought a little bit of seasoning to the team, and it was very fun. Really, really cool year. Worked on some unreal projects. Was able to work with was working on all of SWG3 stuff. Got to work with Triumph Motorcycles. Was up in Skye with what's the brand? I'm hitting a mind blank right now.
Well, so I guess the interesting thing is, it'd been a while since you've got to flex your creative muscles. You had musically, but from your degree in Dundee, it kind of been left behind.
Yeah.
Did you just come firing ideas? Did it take time to...
Like, it's funny. We had this running it back to uni. We had this process that they started early doors for us, and it was creating 100 ideas for a project. So you'd have obviously a brief, and then they'd be like, right, cool, 2 weeks, come back to us with 100 ideas. And at the time we were like, this is fucking dumb. Like 100 ideas to end up with one idea. Like, it's so dumb. But I think from that, I was able to kind of hone that down and kind of channel that. And then that's just really gone into everything I do now. So even like the stuff that I work on personally, when I'm in a project, or even if I'm like trying to help someone out with something, I'm just constantly generating ideas. Even going into the studio end of last year with Hammer, literally just jumped straight in, and I was just like, I've got ideas that I just want to get down. And I think I was able to use that, channel that, and then hit the ground running, which was really cool. And yeah, the team there were really, really good. Some amazing creatives I got to work with, which was sick. And yeah, it was a fun year. I'll always be thankful for that, because it got me out of Edinburgh and to Glasgow, which is where I kind of really started to find my feet, I think.
Yeah. So now let's talk about the fun part. Tell us about your lockdown experience. Where were you before that all kicked off? I don't mean location wise, I mean on your journey, in your headspace, career wise.
So I was ready to leave Glasgow. I was ready to leave Scotland at that point. So I was eyeing up Manchester and Bristol were top of my list. Pardon me. I've got good friends in Manchester. Don't really know anyone in Bristol, but in my head it was like the logical step after Glasgow before London. So I was kind of eyeing that. I'd lined up 2 weeks of work. No, I'd lined up a month of work in London, which I was literally meant to get the train down on the Sunday. And then the Monday Boris made the call, and I was like, Jesus. But yeah, I was tired of Glasgow. I was like, I've been here for long enough. It's been really good, but like, as I said, like I didn't want to like rest on it. And I was just kind of ready to just push myself and just kind of be in a different space, get challenged more, be around different creatives. And yeah, I was just a bit tired, really, if I'm honest. I was just a bit tired of being up here. And
so as part of your secret move around, get new people, not that you get tired of people, just get new people around
100%.
you.
It's not even new people. It's just like, see, when you put yourself in a position where you're not comfortable, it's fight or flight. Do you know what I mean? And I love the fight. I just love the fight. I like that moment when you're in a space, you're uncomfortable, but there's opportunities there to be made. There's connections there to be made. There's work there to be done. And I'm just like, I'm very like, I've now become comfortable in that pocket where like, I'm comfortable in the uncomfort, I guess.
So you had that passion to move. Lockdown happened. Were you a bit like, shit?
I was like, I knew it wasn't going to be no 3 week thing. Not at all, man. Yeah. I was like, people chatting 3 weeks. I was like, there's absolutely no chance. People dropping dead on the other side of the world, and they're like, yes, we're gonna shut down for 3 weeks, bro. I'm just like, nah, it's not happening. So I was here, stayed in Glasgow in the flat in Merchant City for a week with my flatmate, and then I was just like, I can't do 3 months here, man. You can't go outside, can't go see anyone. I was like, I need to go see fam. So for my big bro, him and his wife have got a house in Tayport, which is like a little fishing village just across the river from Dundee.
Okay.
I was like, bro, come pick me up, man. So he rode down, picked me up, and yeah, spent 3 months with them, and it was absolutely class. Like, nice. It was exactly what I needed. I'd had a breakup at the end of 2019 that I hadn't really dealt with, so I was able to kind of deal with that and kind of deal with the mental stresses and the, like, I don't know, I guess just work through that properly and give myself time to heal, and that was great. I started running, which I still hate. I always hate running, but it was really good for my mental, just kind of waking up every morning. Me and my bro would just do a 5K, and it was like, I think I got more out of it because I hate running so much. Like, I'm a big football guy. Like, I love kicking ball, but that's my fitness. That's my cardio.
Yeah.
So then the running thing, I'm just like, I never understood it. And then obviously there was no football. So I was like, I need to do something. And yeah, running was massive for me.
Well, you've already said you find comfort in the discomfort. So the fact you still hate it, maybe it's an addiction to just putting yourself in those situations.
I'm not even gonna lie, I hate it so much. Hate it. I've just got back to it.
So how come the world's open, you can play football again? Why are you sticking with it?
So I'm playing for a team down in London called Judas FC. Shout out to Judas, by the way. I should have brought my Judas kit.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to do a supercut of like all the shouters we've got through, man, so everyone honestly, gets their moment.
Come on, everyone needs to shout. Everyone needs to shine. But the standard's just really high, so I just want to be at my best. So yeah, I started running again, start of the year, end of last year, and yeah, it's been good, man. Like, I live in quite a, like, it's an alright area up, like northeast London, Stoke Newington. So I've got a few parks beside me, a couple of reservoirs. So just a light 5K. Like, it's not nothing mental, but it's just enough to like keep my edge. Yeah, when I'm kicking ball. So that's the main reason. I hate running.
So it's got an advantage now, I see. So you picked up those good habits during lockdown. You faced some of the stuff you'd been putting off, which is obviously fantastic. I think a lot of people probably didn't take the time to slow down and clear their heads. If anything, they probably got more worked up.
Do you know what? I think I learned from like a lot of people. Like, I was able to, obviously you've just got time. You had time. Like, it's time that we've never really had ever. And it's time that we'll probably never get again, if we're honest. And I just really took the time to kind of speak to people, reconnect with people, take conversations to that next level, you know, where like, even now, like, I know that I just don't really have, I don't have time for that. And it's something that I definitely want to kind of bring back into my life is having those deeper conversations and taking things like deeper than just the surface level. But yeah, like, it was such a blessing, learned from so many people, and really saw like the resilience with a lot of people I know, and like learned a lot about myself. And yeah, I guess like you found pockets of character that you didn't know existed. Like, big shout out to all the creatives, man. Like, all the creatives that had to like fight through that time. Young business owners, old business owners, like, yeah, it was a crazy space, and just, yeah, really like, just a big shout to human resilience.
Yeah, sadly, strength, you know? I guess a lot of businesses didn't make it.
Oh yeah,
a lot
for
of people's
sure,
passions, bro. It's like you said, you'll keep fighting for years, keep pushing for it. Some people probably did give up. Curious, bit of a deep moment for you then there, Josh. For people who are thinking about giving up right now, someone's here, you're trying to mentor them, they're like, I just think I'm not going to cut it. What sort of words of wisdom would you give them?
Bro, I'd be frank, straight up frank, and I'd just be like, it's about how much you want it. Do you want it or not? If you don't want it, if you don't want it, man, give up. It's calm. Do something else. But if you actually want it, then you need to fight for it. Like you need to the tough decisions, the tough moments, the tough mornings, the late nights, like, yeah, you need to dig deep, and it's like you're investing. Everything that you invest now will reap its rewards, and the seeds that you sow now will come to fruition, and the fruit will come from that. But you just need to fight through the season. And it's like nothing in life is forever. Nothing in life is forever. If you're in a season, if you're in a pocket, you have to fight through it, and you will come out the other side, really. That's all I can really say. Like, it's obviously everyone's in a different space, and I can't speak to every situation directly, but like, it's just about how much you want it. If you want it, that's the baseline, and then you build from that. Like, if you're hungry, let's go and eat. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
you need to get t-shirts made with that. That's going to be the Josh Kilimanjaro phrase.
Hungry
Release
guys.
a song. If you're hungry, you got to eat.
If you're hungry, you got to eat, but
I guarantee, I bet we see t-shirts with a song like that. I think that would make it.
Maybe
because it's a great catchphrase.
Maybe a wee track. Maybe a wee line in a track or something.
It's a bit of positivity for, like, because I'm sitting here feeling motivated just listening. So people need that reminder, I think.
Yeah, I think so, man. Like, life's it's shit, bro. It's hard. But there's beauty, man. There's beauty. There's so much beauty in it. And yeah, I think that comes from like, just, yeah, being blessed to have like an amazing family around me. Like, I have a faith, like I've got a passion that has come from that, and it gives me that kind of drive to be like, yeah, this isn't all it. I'm blessed to have 2 nephews. So I'm like, this, like, even what I'm doing now, like, it's not for me, it's to set up for the next generation, and yeah, I've been given an amazing foundation, like coming from like where my granddad came from to where my dad came from to where I am now is fucking crazy. Like, it's actually nuts. So I'm just like, I've been given an opportunity, so I can't waste it. I actually can't. I don't even have a choice. I don't have a choice. So that's what it is, isn't it? And it's just perspective, man. Like, everyone can find their own perspective within the world and within life, within the space. You just need to find what yours is and what your calling is. And I'm blessed enough to have, I guess, been able to find mine, I think.
Yeah. Maybe. No, I love all of that. Almost in awe. So I need to remind myself where we're going back to. We're going to the move to London. You came out of the pandemic, better, clear mental space. You'd had your break. You came back hungry. You moved to London.
So in that little pocket in between, so what? I think I moved back to Glasgow in June? March, April, May, June. Yeah, did 3 months up there, and then came back to Glasgow. Hadn't worked, hadn't made a penny in 3 months. Obviously, money's going out because I've still got a flat to pay for. Like, there's bills, blah blah blah. So I worked. I worked for a company. I'm not going to give them the benefit of a name drop, but I worked for a company doing deliveries for 9 months. And that was it. That was when I was like, right, okay. Because
is this by chance the company that a lot of people drive for now and rules the world, basically?
No.
Okay. I was just curious. Yeah,
not them. I did 2 months with them.
Okay.
And then I moved to the ones you see their vans everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, you see their vans everywhere. But yeah, like, honestly, man, like, I swear to God, anyone who was like close to me in that time, when, because we were in lockdown, but we weren't in lockdown. You weren't really able to do stuff. Pubs were shutting at 10. Like, it was weird. Like, it was a really weird time. Yeah. So I was working for this company, and it was just like, it was so grim, bro. Like I've still got mates that work there. I'm just like, I don't know how you guys have done this. Like, it's mad. And in that pocket was when I was like, right, that was when I was like, do you want it or not? Are you hungry or not?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, bro, I need
if
to
this is the alternative,
yeah,
I sure
bro,
as shit don't want to hang around.
Literally, bro, I was like, I looked at myself, I was like, I can't do this. Like, this can't be it. Do you know what I mean? And I was blessed enough to meet a girl, and we moved down. We were just gonna go down for the summer. Moved down in June, and one of my mates owns a house in Stokey, and he was living with one of my other mates, 2 Scottish lads. And yeah, there was a room, and it just worked out like real nice. Like it's crazy how well it worked out. And yeah, I'm sadly no longer with the young lady. But yeah, I'm in London. I'm loving it. It's been an amazing, what are we now? February? So that's what, 8 months? 8 months, 9 months. It's been, yeah. And like I knew I was always going to go back to London for a bit, but I always kind of had the fear. I was like, I don't want to go unless I'm like living in the right space with the right people, making the right money, yada, 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 yeah. Which was why I was like Manchester or Bristol before, instead of going straight to London.
Yeah, because if you want to actually enjoy London, living there in the city is, you do need a certain level of financial security.
And it's like, it's about that balance as well. It's like you don't want to just be working all the time when you're there, because then that's just, yeah, I mean, you work anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be in London to work. So it's about getting that balance where you're working enough to be making decent enough P to then be able to like have time to actually enjoy the city, and like of being able to strike up like a good balance. And yeah, I'm really like, now I'm in my pocket right now. I'm loving it. Like, I'm back in the studio. Got back in the studio in November with Hammer. Shout out Rory, amazing DJ producer, Northern Irish dude, who works with like Bicep and stuff. But yeah, we're sitting on some heat right now. Got a couple of bits coming out very, very soon.
Well, that Kilimanjaro name's definitely growing. When I told my 20-year-old cousin, I'll give a shout out to my cousin Stephen. He was like, Stephen, "Oh, you've got Kilimanjaro." I was like, "Hey, he's coming on the podcast." He was like, "Oh my God." So the name's definitely growing. The DJ, I assume the way where you're at now, this is like the highest level of growth in the shortest periods.
Yeah, I mean, like it kind of, the way things have worked has been very organic, but it's also been because I'm a hungry guy, bro. I'm hungry, and it's like I'm in spaces where I'm making connections and I'm putting things together. I'm having conversations, but I'm putting myself in those spaces. I'm finding those spaces. I'm making those connections, making those friendships, and it's like yeah, like it's all kind of happening organically, and I'm just really thankful for the opportunities I'm getting. Like, the next like 3 months, I'm working with some, you'll see, it's gonna be, stuff's gonna come out, but I'm gonna be working with like a few of like, yeah, my musical inspirations when it comes to like electronic music and house music. And it's like, it's cool to be in those spaces with these people who are also being like wanting to draw from me and like learning from me, which is cool. Got some really cool bookings for the summer already. Looking at Ibiza with Fly in June. We're doing opening Riverside on the Friday, which will be sick. I'm supporting 2 of my like, not even like my idols. Like, when I told my mom and dad who I'm gonna be opening for in the summer, they were like, "No way!" Like,
are you allowed to say?
I can't.
That's fine. Don't worry.
But like, when it comes out, everyone's gonna just be like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, sick. Super blessed. I'm starting to book London shows now, which is jokes. Got a really big one in end of May, which will be sick. Obviously, like, just keep an eye on socials for the announcements.
Do you know what? This is perfect time. Do you want to give your handles for anyone who wants to follow you right now?
Yeah, come on.
Also your SoundCloud and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you want to see what I'm up there. But yeah, no, all my socials on Instagram at Kilimanjaro Music, SoundCloud Kilimanjaro Music, personal stuff is Josh Kilimanjaro or Josh Kili on Twitter. Yeah, like I've got lots coming out. So yeah, just keep an eye.
Perfect. No, it's going to be an exciting summer for you.
Yeah, very, 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 very. I'm excited.
I'll end on one last thing for you then, Josh, because I always like to end. You've given a lot of great, nice bits of advice, but outside of being hungry and stuff, like what would you say is the biggest lesson you've learned, not just in the last 2 years, not since the band broke up, like through your entire life? What's something you think you know that either people take for granted or not enough people actually know?
That's good. That's a good question, bro. That's deep. Do you know what, man? It's I don't even think I have anything that other people don't know, but it's literally the simple things like ground yourself in a handful of people that you trust, that you love. It's not about knowing everyone and having a massive pool of friends. Like, if you're close with your family, get closer. If you're not close with your family, try and get close. Like, my family are my rock, like my foundation, like everything. And yeah, I think, I don't know, man. Like, I'm family orientated, but I don't think I've given them as much time as I should have, like in the past. And I think like lockdown was definitely a big wake up call for me when it comes to family stuff. And like, just I've got my small core group of like close friends who keep me right. You need to make sure you're being kept right. You need to make sure that you've got people who call you on your bullshit, and who you run like decisions by and that kind of stuff. And yeah, just find something you love, find a passion. If you're working a job that you hate, find something else. Like, you don't, like, life isn't about working to then enjoy the weekend. Like, that's not what it's about. It's about living. Do you know what I mean? And obviously that might sound cliche to say, but it's like, you need to, like, life's short, man. You only get one run. Do you know what I mean? You only get one shot. Like, you're not gonna get next year back. You're not gonna get yesterday back. All you have is what's in front of you. And you, especially like, even look at like Jamal Edwards, who passed a couple of days ago, like what he achieved, he's the same age as me, and like what he achieved in that short window of time was like so inspirational. Yet he's still just been snatched just like that. And you don't know, man. You don't know when your time is. So yeah, if anything, like, love more, be more creative. Yeah, live your best life. That's all we got.
What a message to close on. Josh, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, boss, man. It's good to be here. It's nice to chat my shit, and thank you for having me, man.